Dear students, today I am going to deal with the subject communication. Communication is very familiar word. This is the very essential and foundation of the mass communication. The word communication is derived from the Latin word communis, which means commonness. So accordingly, communication means exchange of idea, or in its wider application, communication means common ground of understanding. This word of communication is classified under 5 major categories. Now I am going to explain the major categories of communication, and those types are: first one, intrapersonal communication, interpersonal communication, group communication, public and mass communication. Let us study one by one in detail. First of all, intrapersonal communication. So it means communication among oneself. Prayer in front of God, for example, is one of the best example for communication. Here sender just plays important role, and he tried to pass his message not by opening the mouth, but prayer, just maybe the introspection or prayer, or maybe the prayer by saints, etc., are the examples of this type of communication. And interestingly, this intrapersonal communication is the base for other types of communication. Next, automatically let us move to the interpersonal. As the name itself clearly indicates, this is the communication between 2 or 3 persons. This type of communication means conversation or exchange of idea between friends, 2 friends or 2 people. So here this is very interactive and result oriented. Sender pass the information to the receivers, and it's very spontaneous. Immediately receivers pass his message and quickly passes his feedback, express his opinion, etc. And salesmanship is the best example for interpersonal communications. So here sender can easily understand the facial expression of the receivers. Sender can easily measure the feelings of the receiver, and accordingly he is free to take decision about the continuation of the conversation. And receiver is also here is absolutely free to express his opinion, and Indians are very particular, and this is one of the very familiar method in the society. Maybe the exchange of ideas between the seller and the buyer in the marketplace, or the discussion between 2 friends, or father and mother, mother and sister, mother and son, daughter, etc., etc., are the examples of interpersonal communications. So this is quick, result oriented and very effective. Next, third part is group communication. Classroom is the best example for group communication. Here sender means lecturer. Lecturer pass information to the receivers. Receivers means students communities, and usually students means around 100 students. So this type of communication takes place within 4 walls. So here sender has to pass the message according to the need of the hour, and that communication message has to be standardized one, and sender must be very particular, careful while passing the information. And receivers group means heterogeneous, maybe the heterogeneous or common interest group, and sender has to focus his attention on each and every students, but highly impossible for the sender to throw lights on each and every listener in the group. And receiver's point of view, there are a lot of limitations are there, and in a group all the members, though interest, are not allowed to ask questions to the sender if they are not ready to understand. If suppose overloaded message, and that means that is one of the limitation of this type of communication, and time may not permit for the receivers to ask questions due to nervousness, due to hesitation, and due to various factors. A particular student may not ask questions to the lecturer properly. And here, like interpersonal communication, one-to-one relation is highly impossible. So sender and receivers may be unknown to each other, and sender may not establish a kind of cordial relationship with the receivers here in the group communication. Next, automatically let us move to the fourth step of communication, that is public communication. So election meeting in a big ground, for example, is the best example. So maybe the head of the particular party like Congress, BJP or JDS, etc., leader of the particular political party takes part in this particular campaign and delivers message, passes information related to ideology of his or her political party, and try to convince the voters by explaining various things. And here mic is very, very important, and without mic highly impossible for the sender to reach the receivers. So receivers means lax together participants or voters take part in this particular campaign or election meeting, and time may not permit for the receivers to ask questions. Throwing stones or rotten egg, for example, are the examples for the feedback here in this type of communications. And sender many times, our language is very, very important. If the sender is active and dynamic speaker, automatically it is possible for him to, naturally it is possible for him to receive, so convince the receivers properly. So speaker plays very, very important role in the success of this type of communication. Next, last but not least one, mass communication. Mass communication means here there is a kind of big gap between the receivers and the senders. Radio, television, cinema, newspapers, magazines, advertising, public relations are all the examples for mass communications, and sender and receivers are unknown to each other. Sender means not a single institution but a formal organization. This is mechanical, means machine oriented communications. Receivers means not only concentrated, not only sitting in a particular place, but receivers are scattered in different places of the society, nook and corner of the society. Receivers means heterogeneous group, maybe the rich, poor, maybe the educated, uneducated, illiterates, literates, etc. Maybe the doctorates, maybe the highly knowledgeable person or unknown to, or like layman. And sender means formal organization, and sender means sender has to prepare the communication message according to the pulse of the society. Sender has to prepare the message according to the need of the hour, and sender has to prepare the communication message easily. And mass media plays important role in spreading information, education and entertainment, and mass media operators have to prepare the program schedule according to the need of the society. And here feedback means sometimes receivers pass information or reaction through letters to the editors of the paper, or sometimes approach the editors or head of the media organizations over telephone or with the help of social media. And this feedback plays very, very important role or are considered as opinion pieces. And mass media, needless to say, molds public opinion and also being considered as fourth estate of the society or watchdog of the society. We cannot imagine a society in the absence of mass communication, maybe print media or electronics media. Both are very, very important. So there is a kind of addiction, and people are addicted towards mass media. Mass media plays important role in establishing a kind of good bridge between the nation and the readers, society and the readers, or rulers and the readers. Maybe the policy matters, programs, achievements of the government cannot be reached to the beneficiaries without the role of mass media. And at the same time, mass media also act like a kind of bridge between rulers and the readers. Maybe the grievances of the people, maybe the problems of the people, or maybe the demands of the people, maybe the need of the people will be known to the rulers through mass media. So mass media thus plays very, very important role in spreading needful information, relevant information, and very positive and information in the society. So mass media means, as I revealed, means machine oriented, technical oriented. Here technical experts are very essential, skill oriented peoples are very essential, creative peoples are very essential for the operation of the newspaper or radio, television, etc. So mass media may be the print or electronics media, means regularly reach the audience according to its schedule and time. Mass media, interestingly, price of a newspaper comparatively compared to all other commodities in the society much lesser. There is not at all any relationship between cost of production of a newspaper and the actual price. For example, actual price of the Hindu is just 4 rupees, but the cost of production of the Hindu is more than 40 rupees. But this balance amount, this remaining amount can be maintained with the help of advertisements. So advertisement flows towards newspaper office. Advertisement is a major source of income, major revenue to the newspaper or any mass media. So media functions very systematically with the help of advertisers. So advertisers depends upon mass media for reaching the publics who are scattered in different parts of society or nation. So each country has its own rules and regulations, and India is a democratic country, and democracy can become very successful with the help of mass media. Democracy means transparency, and here media plays very important role in making the objectives of the democracy more meaningful and successful.